Hello there, fellow Boost Fantasy players. This is Brandon Huey, and I'm joined today by my co-host Patrick Scott and co-founder of Boost Fantasy. We're two of the three co-founders of Boost Fantasy Football, a new way to play fantasy football for people who love football. At Boost Fantasy, you put together a team each week similar to what you expect from daily fantasy leagues. The difference is that at Boost, we let you take your football knowledge to the next level. At Boost, you can attain cards that give you unique advantages going into each week. Use the cards you have to build the most effective lineup and top the standings in your Boost Battle League. In our weekly podcast, you can expect us to discuss topics related to fantasy football as well as how our adventure into the industry is evolving. Also, listen closely for promo codes you can use to earn Boost points and packs. Welcome back, Patrick. Here we are. Halloween approaching.
Dude, I love your costume. Oh my gosh. How did I not even think of that? Are you
So
kidding?
not only do I have the costume, so I gotta share this with everybody because I picked this costume intentionally. I'm really into pirate stuff, like into sailing, pirate songs. So I even actually have a pirate instrument out with me right now. It's called a concertina, and I can
Oh
actually I can
gosh.
play it for you right now. Let's see. Nope, I gotta get my notes right here. I can play it for you all day. I really enjoy playing my concertina, my pirate instrument. This instrument's over 100 years old. This instrument right here is over 100 years old. See, I think it's a wheatstone. Is that what it is?
That actual
Yeah,
one
wheatstone. This
is
actual
100 years.
instrument is over. Like this actual one that I have right here was put together over 100 years ago. Since then, it's gone through a lot. I love my concertina. Behind me, you can see my treasure, and then underneath it, another concertina. I have three
Oh my
concertinas.
gosh.
Love this instrument. It works for me. So when I'm handing out my candy and my treasure this Halloween, I'll have the concertina out playing some songs for the trick or treaters. I'm really excited for that. What do you do on Halloween, Patrick?
So we are Dalmatians. Oh gosh. All right. Do the whole thing. It's hot, man. I'm wearing like a full body sweatshirt here. But my wife and my baby girl, we're going to be Dalmatians for Halloween this year. Uh, and then we're gonna be down the road hanging out with some family, passing out candy, and we take tallies on how many trick or treaters we get.
I thought you said you grilled for the kids at Halloween. That's not you. That's not your house that grills the hot dogs.
That's not me. No,
Ah,
we
okay.
uh, we have some beers and some drinks and
For the
pass out
kids?
candy.
For the
No, no,
kids,
no. The
Patrick, think of the
adults, of
children.
course. And then, but I do think it's kind of funny. I mean, we're in this like numbers thing with Boost and whatnot, and my stepmom literally keeps a tally and tallies up like how many trick or treaters we get from the start to finish. And
Yeah.
growing up, I don't know, probably for you as well. I think we're closer to the same age. Trick or treating was like once the sun set until I don't know, 10 p.m. or something like that. I don't recall, but now it's pretty much done before the sun sets. And yeah, a new era,
Man,
whatever.
not
It's all
not
good.
where I am. Where I am, we're on the East Coast. We're in Massachusetts. The sun has set by 5:30, and it's real
Oh,
dark. So actually, fun fact about what I'm handing out this Halloween. So this Halloween, I'll be handing out flashlights because it is getting so dark before
no
trick or
way.
treating's over. That I'm handing out flashlights and Play-Doh. So Play-Doh for the kids, flashlights for the groups. If a group comes by and no matter whether it's an individual or a group, I guess they're getting a flashlight. I got enough for all the trick or treaters that come up my street. The ones with a little push button at the bottom. So yeah, I like to be a cool house for trick or treating. I don't usually give out candy. No, nothing against people who give out candy because I think candy is a important piece of Halloween, right? Making sure you're giving out candy. But everybody else on my street gives away candy, so I give away something that the kids who can't eat the candy can play with, can do. So that's my house. I'm just filling
Yeah, there
a
you go.
void. So
I
so
like it.
yeah.
Nice.
So that's our Halloween plans. Looking forward to it. If you I guess we probably don't have any listeners in my area, but if we did, I'd say come by my house, get some flashlights, get some Play-Doh.
Yeah, I would if I
Yeah,
was
I
there.
bet. I bet you would. I bet you would trick or treat at your age without your daughter. I bet you'd leave her behind.
I think that's weird, and that's not going to happen.
All right, so we got the trade deadline coming up, Patrick. Any thoughts on the trade deadline coming up? Any moves you're looking forward to seeing?
Well, I don't know about looking forward to seeing per se, but I know the Bears just and so if we could just point to my not so good
You want to point to
looking.
the three? You want to highlight the three part? Is that what you're trying to highlight?
No, wait, hold on. Okay, it's weird on the camera, but no, I forget the guy's name. I just had this thing written down, but we added somebody in there with our injuries in the secondary. Just picked this guy up like 2 days ago, I think it was. C.J. Gardner Johnson.
Oh, no way. Gardner Johnson? Dude,
Yeah.
all right. I got a story about him. All right. So playing in a Madden league with some of the guys that are in the Boost League, we had a pretty good Madden league going for a little bit. I think it might have just been like 4 or 5 of us at the time. C.J. Gardner Johnson at the time was on the Saints, I believe, and I picked him up because I saw that his speed, like he had such a high speed rating, and I turned him into a 99 overall safety and would blitz every time with him. I just run right through the line, straight to the quarterback, not the court. It was almost indefensible. I loved him for that. But then I found out that he's kind of a punk. I guess in real life, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe it's never been his fault, but he's been in a couple locker room fights, if I'm not mistaken. So keep your eye out for that. He needs I don't know. I don't know the details on the fights too well. I don't follow that stuff too much, and I don't read into it too much because I think football is a fiery sport where people need sort of that fire in them to do well. But at the same time, if they're toxic in the locker room, it's a whole nother story. So I don't know his case, but I do love seeing him play because I think about my 99 overall C.J. Gardner Johnson all the time.
There you go. And I definitely obviously like the potential for our team, the Bears, with like the 15, I don't know if it's 15, a large list of injuries going into this week. We can't seem to catch a break. So, let's see how this happens, how it works out.
Yeah. So, and as far as my team goes, the Patriots, I'm hoping that we add a running back, and you know what? That running back, in my opinion, could come from the Cardinals. It would be fine. There's a former Jets running back playing for the Cardinals right now. That I think he's actually their top running back. They just dropped Michael Carter, and maybe we pick up Michael Carter, but he was dropped, so I don't know if he's worth his salt. But let's see, who was it that I was looking at on the Cardinals starting this week? I put him on my lineup in fantasy just in case I needed to throw him in there at the last second. But wow. Oh no, I hope you can still hear me. My Wi-Fi just went out.
I can still hear you.
All right, excellent. Yeah. So I guess it just went out temporarily because it's back now. Maybe it was just my phone. It's Knight, Bam Knight. If we can take Bam Knight. I don't know. They're probably going to need him over there in Arizona because Trey Benson, is going to have to prove that he can be healthy. But if we could get somebody like him, somebody who's a proven good backup to back up Ramondre Stevenson or even take his place, I'd be happy. There's nothing wrong with TreVeyon Henderson. I want to be clear. TreVeyon Henderson is a great running back, and I think he's a great. I think he could be our starter. But the Patriots refuse to play him, and I'm just conceding to that. I'm just letting that go. So we could use some help at running back. We could use an edge rusher. I'd love to see somebody with big edge rushing power come in and show some interest in the Patriots. I'd love to see that, but I just don't think there's an edge rusher on the market right now without us paying everything with the kitchen sink. So we'll see. Looking forward to the trade deadline, though. I don't want to dive too much into that because we got a lot to talk about today. For anybody who didn't join us last week, we're going to be talking about boost analysis this week. We're going to analyze all the boost cards that have been used up to this point in the season. We're going to tell you some of the most effective boosts, some of the least effective boosts, and where you should be using boosts. So we're going to be talking about that this week, what's special about our website, and then that's going to be the theme moving forward, is really focusing on those boosts. So let's talk about our primetime picks before we move on to the boost stuff, though. Let's see if I can get this up on the TriCam standings here. Patrick is very proud of himself because he earned himself a perfect week with calling all 3 games. He's catching up. He's just 2 points behind me. It's 11 out of 15 to 9 out of 15. The percentage makes it look like I'm way ahead, but I'm not. This is getting close here. So keep your eye on those primetime picks. Definitely, if you're going to set up your next parlay, make sure you do it with Patrick's primetime picks. That's the
is this where we put in the non-gambling advice disclosure?
That's right. This is not gambling advice. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do it,
please God, don't take my
word Patrick. So we did have some notable things happen this week in the NFL. Aside from the trade deadline coming up, we've got Rodgers defeating his former team. We had a sort of passing of the torch, if you will, from.
Wait. Rodgers defeated by his former
teams. Did I say he's defeated his team? I'm sorry.
I
might have read it wrong. I've got an eye patch on. It's hard for me to see my notes. So Rodgers was defeated by his former team, a sort of passing of the torch from Rodgers to Jordan Love. And I saw a little bit of a little piece about Aaron Rodgers getting the torch passed to him by Brett Favre, and it sounded like Brett Favre kind of did him dirty. It sounded like Aaron Rodgers was really had to go his own, but really helped out a lot with Jordan Love as a result because of his experience with Brett Favre. So we'll see. See how Jordan Love continues to play. He's a great quarterback, and it's just crazy that the Packers keep getting lucky like that. Wouldn't it be weird if the Bears got lucky like that someday? Like, got a quarterback that was good, because Caleb Williams isn't it, right?
I don't know where we're going.
I'm just playing with you.
I don't like of the select amount of fingers I'm showing on my hand. I want to make a fist and have one up, and I don't know where we're at with that with this podcast, but. Rude.
Hey, I think Caleb Williams is going to be your first 4,000-yard passer.
Oh gosh, I think it's totally with you on that.
I think he's
right now.
Yeah.
I saw a stat that he's at he's on pace for. He dropped a little bit, 3,973. I think is what I saw, and that could be made up. The difference.
Oh yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers. I mean, come on. I'm rooting for. Look, I'm still wearing the hat.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not wearing my Patriots hat. I'm not so good like you.
What else can we do? We're Bears fans or a fan of whatever team you're rooting for. And
That's right.
You gotta stand by them and root for.
That's right. I totally understand that. I'm a Patriots fan. We have suffered for years without a Super Bowl win, so I totally understand. It was.
Well, have you had 300 quarterbacks in the last?
All right, let's move on to the next important topic. I'm actually going to skip one here. I put in my notes that the Patriots are rolling. I was going to talk about May being an accurate passer, facing some challenges ahead, but I'm going to skip that because I think that we've talked enough about the Patriots. We're going to talk about the Cowboys real quick because this weekend we saw the Cowboys face off against, was it the Broncos? Yep. Or was it the Command? No, wait. Where am I at? It was the Broncos. Yeah, they faced off against the Broncos. They lost 44-24. And this is what concerns me is their offense wasn't enough in this game against the Broncos. Will their offense be enough to help them make the playoffs? And in that division right now. In that division, it's the Eagles at 6-2. The Cowboys are at second at 3-4. The Commanders at 3-5. The Giants at 2-6. I don't think the Giants are any longer in contention for that playoff spot. That's a concern that I have. I don't think that the Giants are there. The Commanders got too many injuries. So can Dallas secure a wild card spot with nothing but offense? I know you just muted yourself. I'm just asking you. Do you think that the Cowboys can do it with nothing but offense? Because there's nothing on defense. They aren't even playing players on defense. I feel like every play I'm watching the offense on the other team just go out there and just have their way with the Cowboys. Without Micah Parsons playing on the defense, it's like everybody decided they left. They wanted to leave and not play for that team anymore. So what are you thinking?
You called on the muting thing. I had to cough. But, yeah, I think you need both, man, offense and defense. I don't think it just an offense can. I guess it depends on who they're playing, right?
I mean, look at the Colts. The Colts have the most powerful offense. The Cowboys have the second most powerful offense right now. the Colts have a defense that's better by like 2 ranks, right? They're not a much better defense, but they're a better defense. And
Hmm.
they are the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
I think
Who
there has
saw
to be
that coming into the league?
some defense. You
Yeah.
can't be the worst team defensively and the best team offensively. You won't make the playoffs that way, I don't think. So this is why I don't know that the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs unless they figure things out. Although every week I keep saying I think they're going to start figuring things out. I keep saying that.
Hmm.
I'm going to give up on that notion. I'm going to say I want the Cowboys to succeed, but I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs anymore. I think they're going to be an 8-9 team. Coming out of the I think they're gonna be an 8-9
Yeah.
team. They're just not gonna make the playoffs. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I'll go with that. I mean, I look, not to continue to go back to the Bears, but we've been struggling forever, and the whole find a quarterback to carry our team. And I'm definitely the optimist one here, where yeah, we just lost a rough game this weekend, and I've had friends say like, "Oh, Caleb Williams is horrible," and like the towel's thrown in, and I'm just sitting here like, "Yeah, we've been having some exciting games. We're making progress. It's not just um, you can't just have that winning record and just bang go to the Super Bowl. Like if we make the playoffs, that'd be astonishing in my opinion. And this does tie back into the Cowboys question, but it's baby steps, and by baby steps I mean like weeks and weeks throughout the season, and then that particular season. If we miss the playoffs this year, like let's look at the season itself and individual games and individual players. We're not just going to draft Caleb Williams and go win a Super Bowl. It's just unrealistic. And so with the Cowboys, I mean, that mindset of one game at a time, I guess, is kind of my take on it. And who knows? Let's see what happens next week. is kind of the take.
Honestly, I've always been of the opinion that defense wins championships. I think defense is the key
Oh my
to
god.
a championship. All right, that's my opinion. That defense is key. You got to have a defense. All right. I think you gotta have a few things, a few key items, right? You gotta have I think your defense is your most important key. All right. I think you gotta have a good defense.
There are pockets in this sweatshirt
And then I think
thing
that
I'm wearing.
another key that you gotta have, I think you've got to have a strong quarterback. I think you have to make
Yeah.
the playoffs. You got to have a quarterback that can do something. I think you've got to have. I think you have to have a small running game. Maybe the running game could be the smallest piece here, because I think you do have to have one for your quarterback to be successful. A few different keys that you got to have to be successful. But as you can see, my props. I love my props. Those are my keys to success. You got to have.
Here's my prop.
So. Yeah. Oh, all right.
Yes.
Are we advertising for Tostitos now? Did they sponsor us?
No.
Sponsor our podcast
No.
yet?
Cover that up. But did I buy this bag of chips because the Bears was on it and I wanted to have
Yes, you
fun
did,
with,
because it's not Cheez-Its. I knew if it
with
wasn't
my-
Cheez-Its, the only reason you bought it was because the Bears was on it. Oh
uh,
man! All right, so let's get on to our boost analysis here. We've got a bit to talk about with Boost, and I'm really excited to talk about it. So I want to say real quick that I apologize in advance for being a little bit slow here, because I want to get these graphics up on the screen. I have put every Boost card in my app here to get things going, but the problem is going to be figuring out what each one is. So I want to talk about the most effective boosts. That's going to be the first thing. We're going to talk about which boost has been used the most first. All right, so I'm going to bring up the most used boost, if I can find it here. I don't want to tell everybody what it is. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
The most used boost, according to a mix of ChatGPT analyzing our database and just eyeballing our database, has been Go Long. Go Long has a ton of uses across its variants. It's got like 10 uses just for Go Long 4, like you see on the screen. Go Long 2 and Go Long, the rest of them, I guess, have been used quite a bit as well. It's a good one to throw on. Go Long 4, just so you know, is like like, I want to say it's 2.5 boost power, which means that you can put I don't even think wide receivers get one that's 0.5, but if they did, you could throw that other one on. But this is just a card that commonly comes up in packs for me, so I throw it on my receivers a lot. When I know they're going to get a lot of receiving yards, it boosts receiving yards for a wide receiver. And at the beginning of the year, I think everybody wanted this one because you had receivers like who Patrick at the beginning of the year was putting up tons of receiving yards. Do you remember? This card was getting used like crazy on him.
Full disclosure, I was struggling with my mute button. Probably Puka, right?
Puka was getting this card played on him the whole beginning of the year a ton.
Yeah.
People were just throwing this card right on him, and I think even Go Long 5 was used on him once. So yeah, the Go Long card was used on Puka, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Emeka Ibuka at one point in time, although I think Emeka would have been more effective for the touchdown card. And the next most used card, which is crazy because it's really just one variant of this card has been used a ton. The rest of the variants really haven't been used as much. Let me bring this one up here. Stats and info. I got to go to... first I got to minimize this boost. Oh, no. Did it disappear for you when I did that? I think it did.
I can see a card right now. It's Go Long.
Yes, I know, but I'm trying to make it disappear, and then I'm trying to when I make it disappear, unfortunately. Oh, there we go. Now it's disappeared. All right, cool. And then the next one that I'm looking for, I can't find it. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. Screener 2.
Here we go. Cool.
Screener 2 has been used 14 times, and this is because it is a 1 boost power card. As you can see with the 1 lightning bolt, it's a 1 boost power card. You can throw it on with any 2 boost power card, and it's a 20% boost to receiving yards for a running back. Somebody like Jahmyr Gibbs really benefits from throwing this on. Christian McCaffrey is another one that you can expect receiving yards from. Who would you put this card on right now, Patrick?
Gosh, receiving yards, man.
I'm putting you on the spot. I always do. I like it.
You did that time, yeah. I'd have to think about it a little bit. I'm just gonna throw right back the spot on me idea. I'm just gonna throw out a little name. I want to think about it.
All right,
I'll come up with something.
All right. Well, what is our most effective boost? Let's see if I can bring this one up real quick. It's actually in the same realm here. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing me change these? I think you are.
Yes, I can see you change them. Yep.
Yeah. There we go. There it is. One of our most effective boosts right here.
There we go.
Is Beast Mode 3. And Beast Mode 3 is the most effective boost because it's been used a total of 3 times. Patrick, it's been used 3 times, and each time it's given... Oh, no, 4 times. I'm sorry. In 3 out of 4 times, it's given more than 6 points to the player that's using it.
Let's pause there just for a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Now, our scoring system, if I believe it's slightly different than, let's say, like the Sleeper app in a standard PPR league, something that like any listener could compare to. We know Sleeper app or like the ESPN or Yahoo app in a PPR league, like just base point system. Ours is a little bit different, but aside from that, and I'll touch on the simplistic history in a very short spot here of how many times have you lost a game by 5.5 points, let's say 5.43 points, 2 points, 10 points. And that's kind of where this idea came from, and the excitement with these cards and the fun with them of how can I try to play these to get that extra edge against the opponent. So those are my side notes, if you will, and also why we're trying to analyze too, which cards are most effective, how many times people are using the cards. And we're going to have data that shows this card is useless and let's skip on it or ramp up the boost in general, whatever the math is, because this is our first season with it. So those are just some notes I had I wanted to throw in with the first question of the Beast Mode card.
Yeah. So the beast mode card, I think is a reliable card for a couple reasons. So 15%. So it's a legendary card. It's worth 3 boosts, but it's only 15%. Why is it only 15%? So the reason I chose to keep it at 15% was because I calculated like that a good a running back on a great day is going to score around 35 points, right? 30 to 35 points on a great day. Um, Normally, I've seen running backs score more, but let's say on a regular day. So let's say they score 35 points. All right. So you take 15% of 35. Patrick, you can do that off your head, right?
15% off of 30. This is where I want to just flip you off.
It's 4.5, Patrick. So
thank you.
So let's say so that makes this point worth, or this card worth about 4.5 points, right? Right off of a 30-point day, or let's say a 30-point day is easier because you go 10% of 30 is, so that's, I think what I was looking at was 30 is about, so at 30 points is about 4.5 extra points that you get from this card, and that's what I was aiming for everything to do. So if you were to take every lineup spot and fill it with a boost, and you get 4.5 points off of a great day on all of them, I'm like, imagine it adds up, right? So that's what I wanted it to do. I wanted all the boosts to sort of give you an average of like 4 points, right around there. And beast mode is actually given even a lot more on some of these players, depending on what's going on with their stats look like. It's been really impressive. We've had twice. We've had players, 3 times. We've had players beat 6 points with Beast Mode 3, and twice it was Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor scores so many touchdowns and scores so many points in a game so often this year that Beast Mode is a great card for him because, here's where I think the analysis piece comes in. In Beast Mode, you're boosting every stat by 15%. So it doesn't matter if they receive, it doesn't matter if they run, it doesn't matter if it's a running touchdown or receiving touchdown, they're all boosted, right? There is a boost that gives you a 50%. It's actually, I got it up right. Where is it? Here, receiving back. Yeah, receiving back gives you 50% more points from receiving touchdowns, for example, and then you've got punch it in, which gives you 50% more for rushing touchdowns. Now, if touchdowns were the majority of your points, this would look really good. But touchdowns, it's not always all about the touchdowns. They're getting yards, they're getting receiving yards, they're getting receptions. All these other things are happening. So that's where beast mode comes into play. Is it's on a running back where you can't predict exactly what kind of day they're going to have. And that's Jonathan Taylor, I think, often, because you never know where his points are going to come from. So that's why this is the most effective boost right now, is because there's a player that's eating it up with this card, right? I think there are other players that could, like, I think that with Puka coming back, this could be somebody like, he's got I believe the boost for wide receivers, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just bring this back up. Oh, not that one.
Top target?
Is it top target? Let's see if I can find it here.
Wide receiver total?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Top target. Yep, top target right here. I'm transitioning to show you. Top target wide receiver gets you 20% more total points, which is I think huge for receivers. I think it's harder for receivers to get points because they're not also rushing, so that's why it's 20% rather than 15%, which is on the running backs. So anyway, I digress. We've got some really interesting things, I guess, to consider with those moving forward. But that is actually the 4th most effective boost was top target. It's been used 3 times, and twice it's been over 4. The 2nd most effective boost, which I would argue is one of the most consistent boosts. You ready for this one? Let's see if I can find it. We're going to get rid of the RB boosts. We are going to show... I can find it here. Bam. Slinging Sixers. Slinging Sixers is the 2nd most effective boost. Who are you playing that on, Patrick? Who do you know is going to get passing touchdowns right now? 50% more points from passing touchdowns. It's over, 4 times it's hit over 4 points out of 5 uses.
Who just had a big touchdown? Like, didn't they just have somebody had 5 touchdowns this last week? Am I missing that?
A 5 touchdown performance. Sorry, I'm reading the notes over here. Did you say 5
50%
touchdowns?
more points
You're talking
from
about Matt
passing
Stafford. Matt
Yeah,
Stafford had
yes,
5
yes.
touchdowns.
Okay, good.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it was on my either way. So, yeah, right there. I would. So this is actually a yay and a nay for me, though. I got to tell you. So if anything, it's insight on how I would play the boost cards in general. Like, I'm more of a safer play, I guess.
Okay.
So I personally would rather play a boost card that's going to have add some points to my passing yards
Okay.
than touchdowns. You could have a shit ton of
No.
yards and
Not that
one touchdown or 2 touchdowns. And so and this is what we mentioned last week, and we'll get further into this as we continue with this, is the a risk factor of sorts, where do I want to risk 50% more points on a passing touchdown and I only get that 1 touchdown? Or do I want to play kind of a safer bet, in my personal opinion, of that total package QB total of however many yards? So
what's the QB one? Is it called the total package? I think that's what it is.
Total package. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah. So with that, I mean, but to answer that question, who would you put that card on? Like, yeah, based on Stafford, what was that, 2 weeks ago? Sure, I would put that on him. And you want to look at quarterbacks and their wide receivers and their targets, and hopefully no wide receivers are out with injuries, and you got to look at all that type of stuff. I mean, if the team is full healthy, with plenty of weapons out there, this could be a good card to play for sure.
All right. Hold on. So now I'm back here. Let's bring this back up here. I just got a few things going on at the same time. I'm doing the broadcast here. So the second most effective one is Slinging Sixers. I'm throwing Slinging Sixers on a pocket quarterback. Jordan Love's a great quarterback for this one. He's not, he does have legs. He can run it in, but oftentimes he's throwing it in. Matt Stafford's a great example of that. He's a great pocket passer. I think he might be the top quarterback this year for that. Although, Drake May's coming along where he's not using his legs to score as many touchdowns. He's throwing it as well. Dak Prescott is a great example of a quarterback you can trust to be throwing it into the end zone. So a few great options out there, but I can't see who it's been played on here to get all those points. But I think you're onto something where you're saying you play safeguards. So the total package is actually right here is the total package 3. QB gets 20% more total points. That is a card that is getting people around 4 points per use as well. Out of 3 uses, it's over 4 points twice, and it's an average of 3.74 points per use. Top target is a guarantee of extra points, but you don't, in my opinion, you don't often see quarterbacks hitting that 30-point mark and getting a ton of points from this. This is a card that I would reserve for Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson comes back, you don't know if he's rushing it in. You don't know if he's throwing it in. He's got a great arm. He's got great legs. Let's use this card on him because he gives you that. I don't call this a safe card. I don't even call Air It Out a safe card because I think that depending on the defense you're facing, and even in the NFL, it's in any given Sunday situation, right? So a defense decides to show up and you don't get the passing yards you're looking for. Quarterback can throw for 100 yards and still get 4 touchdowns. It happens, especially when you got teams with Daniel Jones on them, with who is it? Jonathan Taylor running for him and everything. It happens. Right now, the quarterback that has the most touchdowns to passing yards is Lamar Jackson, who's out right now, but he's only got 869 passing yards, but he threw for 10 touchdowns with that. So there's your perfect example of, again, why you use this card. You use this on him. Aaron Rodgers, 16 touchdowns, but only 1,400 passing yards. Matthew Stafford's got 17 with 1,800 for reference. So I think that, when you're looking at this card, you got to look at who is, and even with swinging Sixers, you gotta be asking yourself what quarterbacks are getting touchdowns, but are using their legs and using a combination of factors to get into the end zone, right? That's who I put this on. Let's go to our least effective boosts. Our least effective boosts. Are you ready for this one? I always ask that because it takes me a while to bring them up here. We're gonna use a common for this one, and I think it's rightfully so, because I think people have actually used this card quite a bit, thinking that they're gonna get some points from it. But Pickoff has been our least effective cards at 0.29 points per use. So, Patrick, this is where we got to talk about balancing.
This is least effective.
Least effective boost per use.
Okay, here we go. Got it.
So this one is where the defense gets 10% more points from INTs. Here's the problem with this card that I found this year. I didn't know what to expect out of defensive cards. In fact, I didn't plan defensive cards, because if you recall, in March, April, when I was putting together the website, I didn't even plan on having defenses in the league.
I remember
it wasn't
that,
until
actually.
about July that somebody said you need to have defenses, and I was like, all right, we're gonna add defenses. Caleb make the cards. Caleb put together the cards for me, and I just kind of went with the default values that I was using for other positions for the defensive cards. And what we found is, and I think that if with any thought we would have known this right away. Teams aren't getting more than 1 or 2 picks a game oftentimes. Like a good game, you're getting 3 picks, 10% of 3 points there, or maybe 6 points.
Minimal.
I can't remember. It's
minimal numbers.
You're not getting many boost points anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting 10 points off of, you're not even getting 1 point from this card. If the team gets 10 points worth of picks, you're not even getting a point. You're getting a point at that point. But come on, it's not happening. So this card is not an effective card. Even at the 50%, I'm telling you, Pickoff is not a good card to play. There isn't a team getting enough interceptions each game to make this card worth it. There's only, in fact, in my opinion, there's only one defensive card that's really worth playing right now. Do you know what that card is?
Punch it in.
Punch it in is for running backs. Defensive cards. Think defense.
I'm looking at it right now. What?
That's not it.
Oh, no, I don't know.
The only card, in my opinion, worth playing on defense right now is People Eaters.
20% more total points
that's
from the
this
defense.
variant of People Eaters. Now People Eaters goes all the way down to rare, where you can get 5% more points. Even with 5% more points, sometimes your defense puts up 20 points, and it's worth having that little bit of extra points. So I say People Eaters is your best bet. If you've got People Eaters in your inventory, put that on your defense every time, on a defense that's facing a vulnerable offense, so that you can get the most points possible. The sacks one is fine, especially if you're playing the sacks card. I think it's called Blitz on. Let me see if I can find it here. That's not it. Where do we go here? People Eaters and Blitz. Blitz gives you points for sacks, and if you're playing this on the Cleveland Browns, you're on to something, because Myles Garrett's getting 5 sacks a game at least, right? This guy is a monster. So you play this card on the Browns, and I think you're all set. But the most effective card right now is definitely People Eaters, named after the Purple People Eaters, legendary defense. So. Do you know what team was named the Purple People Eaters, Patrick?
Look, I'm just gonna gamble on this based on you and you asking me the question.
You're
I kind of want to say gamble as in I'm taking a shot in the dark, and I'm just gonna say the Patriots because of you. I don't know.
The hint is in the name, Patrick. Come on, man.
You said purple and then People Eaters. Ravens?
No, it's the Vikings. You're close. I'm glad you said the Ravens, though, because that is a purple team. If you had said a non-purple team again,
I see some purple in the Ravens.
Vikings
had
a legendary defensive line.
That's definitely way more purple.
yes. It was the Purple People Eaters, the Vikings. If I'm not mistaken, I'll bring that up real quick to see. That was their That was the 1960s to the 70s.
Oh, those are
Let's see.
great years. I remember them very well.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember Gary Larson, the famous comic artist that played for that
Oh
line,
yeah,
right?
we lived right down the street from him.
All right, let's move on. So we got the Purple People Eaters. I think is the most effective boost, but defense we could go on and on about least effective boosts. Least effective boost
Yeah.
for offense, though, the least effectively used boost. All right, now I don't think this is a bad boost, and I think it's got to be played right. But I don't think it's being played right. I think that it's hard to play right. It's hard to predict, and that's what makes us a volatile, but also just not a very good boost. Oops, I better keep that up until I bring this one up. This is the
Which
next
one was it?
least effective boost. I haven't said it yet.
Okay.
I
That
just
makes sense why I didn't know.
yes, yes. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go over here. Why can't I see this? There we go. That's why I can't see this. All right, let's see if I can find it. Having trouble because I don't have all this stuff up here. Let's see if I can find the boost I'm looking for. I'm so close. There it is. Can you see it? Receiving back is the least effectively used boost. This variant of it gives you 30% more points for receiving touchdowns to a running back. This is specifically for a running back. So receiving touchdowns for a running back is hard to predict, but it's not impossible. Christian McCaffrey is somebody that you can rely on for this, and I don't think this card has been used yet on Christian McCaffrey. It has been used on I think Jahmyr Gibbs a bit, quite a bit, and surprisingly, he's done more of the rushing this year. So this has been actually only 0.38 points per use. Very few small hits and many zeros. All right, because it's being used on players that aren't getting it. So that's what makes it so volatile, so hard to use. Many small uses, but many zeros as well. This is the second most least effective boost. Second, and then third is actually then the next two are also running back cards. Punch it in and dump off are both two cards that don't earn players a lot of points on average. That get used a lot, but they don't earn players points a lot on average. Dump off being the receiving yards for a running back, which I doubled the percentages of because I knew that it was going to be harder to get. And then punch it in being rushing touchdowns for running backs. So the least effective boosts are defenses and running back boosts. Running back boosts because they're so volatile. Defensive ones because I just didn't balance them properly. Next season we'll do better.
My quick comments on that, and by quick because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but with that, right now this is like the analyzing stage of all of this, right? For the
Right.
cards that we are actually using, anybody who is listening who is also using boost cards, what cards end up being almost irrelevant, but we don't want to have some card that you score one touchdown and you get 100 points, and right.
Although maybe that could be in our future.
Who knows?
Quarterback gets
But
gets a tackle.
it's an exciting piece and part to this of you got to find that happy medium, which we are looking at in analyzing these things, and feedback. Man, feedback is it.
Yeah, please give us your feedback so that we can do the balancing and adjust these things. People that play this game are I think our most important testers here. This is our testing year, of course. So we need that feedback to get better. If you've got any feedback for us, you got any ideas for us, please send them along. We'd love to make improvements, make your experience better. We're going to move on to the most consistent boosts that have been analyzed by ChatGPT. There's one card that sort of stands above the rest in consistency. It seems like every time it's used, it's getting almost the same number of points. So I'm going to go ahead and share that boost. Let's see if I can find it. It's a rare card. There it is. I found it right away. Air It Out 3 gets you 30% more passing yards from a quarterback, and Air It Out 3 has been used effectively so often to the point that it's only scored players between 2 and 3 points. So just over 2 points, just under 3 points, always in that band. 30% more points from passing yards. If you can think about it, you're putting this on a passer, and you're probably putting it on because it's 2 boost points, and you might be putting the scrambler card on them for the other point. You might be putting the the tush push card on them for the other point. This might be something that you're thinking that other 1 point you want to put a common on them for. So just saying, the aired out cards being thrown on quarterbacks that have more ways to score, I think, often, and I think that's why this one's got such a tight band, because it's going on quarterbacks that aren't throwing a lot of yards necessarily. They're saving those aired out 4s and 5s for people that they know are going to be more effective, right? So air it out is the most consistent boost. If you want an extra 2 to 3 points every week, just make sure you throw this one on your quarterback. This is going to be an easy 2 to 3 points right here. The next one is also a quarterback card. If I can get it here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, wait. Why don't I just get rid of that? Slinging Sixers. There we go. Slinging Sixers 2 gives you 20% more points from passing touchdowns. It's been the second most consistent card, between 1.6 and 3.2 points on every usage, which is crazy for a 20% card. 20%, a 20% boost doesn't often produce great results. You want to use Slinging Sixers 5 or 4 on a quarterback that you know is throwing touchdowns. But boy, if 2 is doing this well, it might be worth throwing on for the 1.5 points and getting the 1.5 points otherwise. What are you thinking, Patrick? What else? Where are you using this card, and what else are you using to complement it?
Yeah, that's these numbers here I like, including the one previous to this, 2 to 3 points. Like, that's how I've seen this, where you don't want to be overpowering, but you also don't want to have a card that's just getting you goose eggs constantly and it's just worthless. So I like these a lot. I'll always pretty much go to that. Maybe we shouldn't use the word guarantee, but kind of like, if a quarterback completes a pass for X amount of yards, you're getting a boost. End of story.
Yeah.
And he could complete a whole bunch of passes for a whole bunch of yards, and if he doesn't get a TD ever, then there's a risk there. So that's kind of, I don't know if I'm ever going to get away from that take. Some of it will be fun to play based on that quarterback for sure. Stafford, for that example that we come back to, that could be a fun risk. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a gamble piece to this for some users who are like, oh yeah, sweet, let me play this card and hope that Stafford throws a whole bunch of touchdowns, and there's that excitement level for sure with it.
Yeah,
that's kind of my take with that.
All right, we're gonna get to one more card here. We're gonna talk about it. It's It's our third most consistent. It's Rack 'em Up. Rack 'em Up is getting players between 2 and 6 points every usage, but I think that's because running backs in particular. I have to say the running back class this year is really strong. Even backups coming in and filling in for hurt running backs are doing well. So I just think that right now that this card has been consistently effective because so many running backs in the league are doing so well right now, are being used so well. So with that said, we have a couple more things on this boost analysis to talk about. Most of it is player oriented from here on out. The most effective combo, for example, is coming up, where I would tell you, and I've already told you this, Beast Mode 3 has been used with Jonathan Taylor 3 times, and out of that it's received it's got 6.84 and 7.48 points coming from Jonathan Taylor on 2 of those uses, 7.48 being the second most amount of points that have come from a boost card. So we'll I think I'm going to skip over the player piece here, Patrick, if you don't mind, just because we're running short on time. But the most points ever are from a boost. So the smartest boost play, all right, this one I really want to talk about, is when Jay Moran 90 here, or maybe it's just Jay Moran. Is all it says right here. I thought he had a 90 behind it or something.
I think it's 90. I think
all
it's
right,
90.
Cool.
Yeah.
He used Bring It Home 5, and I'll bring up that card for reference here. Let's see if I can do that. Bring It Home 5. There it is. Bring It Home 5 gives you 50% more points from receiving touchdowns. He put that on Davante Adams in the week that Davante Adams got 3 touchdowns. He knew it was coming when Puka was out. He's like, all right, they're going to use Davante Adams like crazy. Let's throw this card on here. Smartest use of a boost, earned him 9 points. Second most was me putting Beast Mode 3 on Jonathan Taylor. But Jay Moran, our friend Jeremiah, throws Bring It Home 5 on Davante Adams, gets 9 points out of it, which I think is wild. So keep that in mind. I think that you're throwing Punch It In 5 on Jonathan Taylor and getting this many points just as well. So keep that in mind as you're using your boost, that you're thinking about who's out and who to play this card on. I think you did a great job predicting this one. In fact, the next two most powerful boost uses were both me, and they were both Jonathan Taylor, and they were both Beast Mode. Isn't that crazy? Like, Jonathan Taylor's so predictable that the next 2 best uses were both me throwing that on there.
I mean, come on, you're the captain, you know?
Well, I'm the captain, but I am not the most effective boost user. So that's the next thing coming up here. Before we get to our primetime picks, I do want to give a shout out to our most effective boost users. Two users have been ahead of the pack. In fact, one is well, I wouldn't say he's quite far ahead. I guess it is kind of a narrow margin, but these 2 are ahead of everybody else by far in effective boost usage, and that's Mr. May Is My Man. It's actually a teen at the teen center that I work at. Shout out to the teen center kids, all of them. But Mr. May Is My Man is a teen at the teen center that wanted to join, and he knows a lot about football. Very, very intelligent when it comes to football and all else. Watches our podcast as well, so shout out to you for being the most effective boost user. On average, I believe it says getting where was it? It said multiple big hits. Actually, it says 6.4 points on several boosts, several 3-point go long uses. This person, so Mr. May Is My Man, is consistently using boosts and getting good points out of them. Jay Moran is close behind with about lots of 3 to 6 point results and fewer zeros than other peers. So Jay Moran, Jeremiah, kicking butt out there with his boosts as well. So we got a couple of great boost users. I am surprised I'm not up there. I am insulted that I'm not up there, and I think ChatGPT didn't do the right analysis, because I think I am the most impressive boost user. But I say that.
Yeah, what the heck?
I say that because my boosts have put me in first place right now. I'm in first place in the boost league. Don't forget this. It's going silently.
I've seen that.
Here.
Yes,
but I am the number 1 spot in the boost league right now. If you think you can knock me off, please join us at Boost Fantasy. Sign up on the app so that you can.
You know who's in a close third here? Actually, give me 1 second.
Who?
A team member of ours, the Fantasy Formula.
Yeah, Fantasy Formula didn't even play last week and still maintained a 3rd place spot because he was doing so well at the beginning of the year. So let's see Fantasy Formula. I hope you come back, Fantasy Formula, this week and start playing again, because I want to compete with you. He's got a lot of great takes. He was the way I discovered Jake Tongas, right? I saw him using Jake Tongas, and I was like, oh, I gotta throw that on. So.
We plan to have him on the podcast, looking at a week. Follow him on Twitter. It is The Fantasy Formula. Fantastic takes. He dives real deep into players in all aspects of it. So
excellent.
Give him a follow if you have not. And he's currently right now in 3rd place. So.
Excellent. So let's talk about, let's go back now. I'm going to take us back to the Tricam here, which is not a Tricam right now because Caleb's not back yet. Maybe Caleb will be back with us next week. It looks like a quad box, but it's just 2 of us. So I'm bringing this back because I do want to share with everyone the promo code this week. The promo code this week is Halloween. let's bring it up here. Halloween, please, all caps, use Halloween if you want to get, I believe it's 6 red zone packs and 1,000 points. So go ahead and redeem with promo code Halloween. Where I was gonna make a pirate, but then I thought, maybe I'm not being fair to Patrick. I don't know.
Yeah, that's correct. You wouldn't have been.
Yeah, we're going Halloween. But I'm the main character here, Patrick. All right. So with that said, I do want to talk about some big news that we got this week. If you're using our iOS app, or if you want to use our Android app is now officially on the App Store. Go Android. That's what I'm using over here. I got the Android app released on the App Store. It's got all the bells and whistles that you need. In fact, it's got features before iOS has them, because iOS does not have the ability yet to create an account on the app, but it will have one very shortly. The update is being pushed through right now. There was a big iOS update though, so I'm going to share with you guys what was updated in the app for iOS. These are all features that are included in Android already, and that is the ability to see unaffordable players at a glance. So players that you can't afford in your lineup will be shaded red, and you can't select them anymore. So that'll make things easier for you instead of going over budget or anything. Eligible player list now shows opponents next to each player's name. So if you want to know who that player is playing when you're going to pick a player, that'll be right next to their name. So for example, last week you would have seen Drake May versus Cleveland. Boost cards now appear next to players in the My Team and Team Lineup view. That means when you're looking at another player's team, you can now see physically the boost cards that they're using on that player, and you can also physically see the boost cards that you're playing on your own players in your lineup now. So no question about about what did I put on the player last week, or what did I put on my player this week? I want to show you what that looks like here if I can on my app. Let's see if the camera will pick it up. I don't know. Nah, you can't see it from there. There's no way. The camera did adjust for me though. That was nice. You guys can check it out on the app. The app is awesome, and it's gonna show you the boost cards next to your players now, so you know what you boosted them with. Next thing is that the way that when you go to click a player that's already in your lineup, the boost and remove button used to appear below their game log, and that would make it hard to see. You'd have to scroll down to get to those buttons. I've moved those buttons to the top now so that you get an easy way to add boosts and remove a player from your lineup. Removing a player from your lineup now clears the boosts in that slot, which is helpful if you have somebody in the flex position, because in the past, if you had a receiver in the flex position and you had wide receiver boosts on there, but then you put a running back in their spot, you couldn't remove those boosts. But I fixed that problem by allowing the boosts to be removed when your player is removed from that spot. There are a few fixes and improvements as well. Some people were trying to pull to refresh and it wasn't working. I fixed that issue. There were a few issues. I'm not going to go into all the issues that we fixed, but you can see it on the change log in the App Store. So there are a bunch of changes in effect, but the app is now your best way to play Boost Fantasy, in my opinion. Let's get to our primetime picks, Patrick. We are 2 minutes away from the hour.
Let's do it.
All right, primetime picks. Oops, I think I just did something here. Something's going on. Oh no. All right, there we go. Here we go. There, that's better. Patrick, we've got 3 primetime games coming up this week. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Dolphins on Thursday. Who are you taking in this game? This is a tough one.
Oh, look, we just got crushed by the Ravens. I'm going Ravens. I think they're just going to keep that going. I mean, it's almost like regardless of if
Lamar plays
or not, their backup crushed us. So I think they got this one in the bag. I don't know about like covering spreads or anything. Just, straight picks. That's all. I think the Ravens will win.
Yeah, well, the Dolphins are also coming off a good game, so we'll see. They both got some momentum going into this one. They both got something to improve. Let's see what happens. What about the Seahawks on Sunday night? They're taking on the Commanders in Washington. So, who are you taking in the Seahawks Commanders game?
The only thing I've really followed with this is the Commanders and their quarterback situation. I think I could be wrong here. I feel like he might be in the game. Have you heard that as well?
Jaden Daniels, you're talking about his status? Let's see.
Yeah,
I
I can't
am
recall,
unaware of Jaden Daniels' status.
but I was gonna go Seahawks on this.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's up in the air right now whether or not he'll be able to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick
So,
Seahawks. Let's go
we'll
with
see.
them.
You're going to take the Seahawks. All right.
Yeah.
What about the Cardinals taking on the Cowboys on Monday night? It's going to be in Dallas. Who are you taking?
Oh, let's go home team. For Caleb. Come on, and
You're
Matt.
gonna take a home team just for Caleb and just for Matt. I see.
Yeah, that's
You're
it.
going
Let's
with the
go.
Cowboys, and that's because you didn't want to go all the way again, huh?
Yes,
That's what it
exactly.
is. All right, excellent. All right, so lock it in, everyone. Patrick's primetime picks include the Ravens, the Seahawks, and the Cowboys. So
And
now,
this will get me, depending on your picks, this is because what am I, 2 away from you? I think, right?
are you 2 away
Ooh,
from me? Yes, you are. You're just 2
okay.
away.
Well, let's see what your picks are, and it's either going to continue at 2 away or.
Here we go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go with my primetime picks here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to select in the Ravens and Dolphins game. This is a tough one for me, but I think I honestly I got to go with the Ravens. I'm sorry. I want to go with the Dolphins so bad.
You don't
And
have
I
to
know I'm an
apologize.
AFC East cheerleader here. I want to go with the Patriots. And say, oh, let's make the Dolphins miserable, but there's a part of me that just wants them to beat these Ravens and show that Tua's got something. I want Tua to be successful. I don't know why, but that's where I'm at. So I'm going to give this one to the Ravens, though, as well. If Lamar Jackson is back, I just think they're too much for the Dolphins to handle. The Dolphins just don't have enough going on for them. And then in the Seahawks-Commanders game, I just think that there's too many injuries on that Washington Commanders team for them to overcome the power that Sam Darnold brings with the Seahawks. And I'm talking about defensively. I told you defense is a very important key to the game. I think that that's why the Commanders are going to lose this one, is because the Seahawks do have a much better defense. I think they're gonna take that one over. And then for the Cowboys and Cardinals game, is a tough one. This could be a toss up because
We know where you're going with this.
you know
Go
where
ahead.
I'm going with this.
I do.
I'm gonna have to take the Cardinals to be different.
Damn
than
it.
you, bud.
Okay, I did not know that.
I'm gonna have to do this. So we've got. Let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to take the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Cardinals because the Cardinals are just too consistent, and the Cowboys again don't have the defense to stop an offense that can roll. And I just think that overall you get a better team over here consistently on the Cardinals. So. Thank you, Caleb. Caleb's in the chat. He's confirming that he will be back 100% next week. He's saying great job to the entire dev team, which is, he's joking because it's me. I'm the entire dev team.
I was kind of wondering. Entire.
So yes. And then Ashley said the Cowboys suck. So Ashley also loved my costume. So it wasn't Caleb saying that he loved my costume. It was Ashley saying she loved my costume. Oh, appreciate that, Ashley. No love for Patrick's costume.
What the heck? I'm a Dalmatian. I think I got ears and stuff.
All right,
I got
so
a tail.
Let's
I found out I had a tail.
Before we go, we got a guy asking over here. Help me mock up a trade. I'd trade Aaron Jones, Bill, Bam, Hunt, RJ Gadsden, targets. So people I'd trade are those bunch, and then the targets would be MHJ, Devonta, T, JMO. Why in the let me think. People I'd trade and how would we mock up a trade for now? I'm guessing it looks like we're looking for a receiver, obviously. And out of those receivers, I want Devonta Freeman. Wow, what year am I in? Devonta Smith. If I want Devonta Smith, I think that you could do I don't see why you couldn't do Aaron Jones and maybe even throw in Gadsden just for good measures. Like I would almost do a straight up trade Aaron Jones for Devonta Smith. I think that's a good trade for both teams if the need is there. But throw in Gadsden just to get some just to get an extra boost on that trade. That's what I'm going to say. Gadsden would be a great pawn to throw in there. So JR Smile here, if you're looking for a mock trade, there you go. That's what I'm going to give you. Aaron Jones and Gadsden for Devontae Smith. That's the best I got for you. Yeah. All right. So, but I'm not going to pretend to be the best at mock at those types of leagues, because I'm 4-4 in my draft, my redraft league. So, I'm not going to pretend I'm the best at figuring out those trades. I don't even make many trades every year. I always think it's too risky. All right. So anyway, moving on. Patrick, I think that's all we got for this week. We've gone over our primetime picks. We've talked about the app. We've talked about the most effective boosts. We're going to continue to talk more about boosts next week. We'll get into the most effective boosts from the previous week, and then what boosts we think are going to be most important going into the next week. We'll talk about that next week. So join us if you're interested in finding out more about Boost. I appreciate all of you joining us. Patrick, any last words before you walk the plank?
Yeah, right. Do dogs walk the plank? I don't know. Where's my ear? No, awesome updates with the app. I think it's in amazing shape right now. These are some seriously good updates for on the user end of things, right? Is our approach to that. How do we make this easy for anybody? And trying to dive further into Boost cards for those who don't have time to research that. It's a focus, obviously, tonight was, and moving forward. So great episode. I'm looking forward to the next ones to come, and especially next week's episode with Caleb coming back.
Yeah, there we go. All right, shout out to Caleb coming back. It's gonna be exciting.
My closing notes.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice to talk to somebody other than Patrick for a little bit.
Likewise. Yeah.
Oh, hey. All right. You have a good night. Everybody have a good night. And I hope you enjoy the podcast. We'll see you next week.
See ya.